That looks like a structure fire to me.
It sure does. It looks like a storefront, actually, Paul.
School buses, RTD buses.
You see it, Dave?
Two people dragged from cars in this intersection.
Agents and local officers who work this area, violent crime in this area, I'm sure they will.
Why do people live in the United States?
Raised here, my family's here.
Oh, I don't live here, I live in London.
Well, I was born here, but I think it's a great place to live because we have a lot of freedoms, and I feel very free here. It's the greatest country in the world. All the freedoms that we have, freedom of press, freedom of religion.
Why do I live in the U.S.? Because I believe in its ideals.
Because I was born here, and I just live here because it's free.
Let me be totally honest with you. Why do I live here?
Yes.
I mean, America's the best place to live. It's the best country on earth. There's no country on earth that compares to America.
My name is Ginger Sheridan, and I teach photography at Jacksonville University in Florida. When I was growing up, I lived in the United States primarily in Florida, but I also lived in Florence, Italy, and Rome, Italy.
Would you consider moving outside of the United States?
Yeah, I would. I don't know if I would ever give up my U.S. citizenship, but I'd be very interested in living in other parts of the world. The first two countries that popped to mind when you asked me that question was the United Kingdom and also some Asian country, perhaps China.
Actually, before I got married, I was considering that because I do English as a second language, so I was considering teaching English in foreign countries, particularly Japan or Italy.
I would move out of the United States. I would go to a place where there's more of like a community and human interactions.
I've been here all my life. I've grown up here. I'm happy with the way things are run here in the United States, and I wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
Yes, I would love to move to Africa. To be honest.
I get to really cash in on the Italian culture of loving their mothers. And so now in Italy, it's the best it's ever been in my life. I get treated great, but I still would first prefer to live in the United States.
Some people weren't from around here, so I asked them a different question. Would you consider moving to the United States?
Yeah, I would actually. I'm studying here at the moment, and I basically wanted to study to see what it's like to live here, because in the future I could, very likely see myself living and working in the US.
I originally came here to study. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm on a student visa, and I find it a great place, and I love the diversity they have, and that's why I'm here.
Planning to move it.
Yeah, well, I'm spending a short time here. I am visiting my daughter, but I'm very happy here. But I'm not from the United States. I'm from Argentina.
Have you ever traveled outside of the United States?
When I was young, before age 10, we lived in France for 3 years.
Okay.
And I've traveled to Africa. I've been in the Himalayas, throughout Europe, and a little bit in other parts of China.
I haven't traveled out of the United States.
Italy, England, France.
India, Senegal.
To the Bahamas, Jamaica, just those two places.
I travel only mainly to Western Europe, and I do it usually twice a year. I primarily go to Florence, Italy, because that same uncle that gave me all those opportunities is now almost 98 years old, and I'm his primary person that takes care of his stuff, and so I go there, but I also go regularly to Paris and to London. I think everyone should travel to other countries. I really do. That's why I still teach and study.
think the United States is better than some countries?
Yeah, I think the notion of our democracy, that people really have a chance to improve their lot in this country, is significantly better than others. We have a better system of democracy. It's far from perfect, but a better system of democracy and a much better chance to become successful. I think we have distinct competitive advantages over other countries.
Norway actually has the best system of democracy, according to the Huffington Post.
I don't really think that we are better than other countries. I think that many countries have, special traits. I think this is a great country to live in. It's one of the best countries in the world, for sure.
According to the 2013 rating, the top 10 best countries are the Netherlands, Finland, Sweden, Germany, Norway, Denmark, Singapore, Japan, Hong Kong, and France.
I wouldn't say better. Better's not the word I would use. I think it's a country that offers a lot to a lot of different people, but not better. I think we have a role in the world to play as an influential country, impacting other countries.
Denmark was rated first in opportunity for 2013.
The US are better than other countries. The US is actually a shame.
Can't argue with that.
Some countries, I don't know if I would say it's like the best country. It's obviously economically a lot better than a lot of countries that sad that it's going on here. There's definitely some faults such as the United States.
Well, at least we're better than third world countries, right?
I mean, we have democracy over here. Some countries don't even have the freedom that we experience here. That's the main reason. The freedom that we enjoy here.
About 50 countries have democracy.
That's a difficult question. It's certainly better than some. I don't believe it's better than Britain.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. I quite like many things. Like free healthcare. There's many things that are similar.
Each country has its really good things and its bad things. In every country I've lived in, which I've lived in about 4 or 5 now, they all have really great things and really not so great things. The thing about the United States is there is a lot of economic justice, even though women still don't make the same amount of money as men. In the United States, if you choose a different lifestyle, you can still support yourself, whereas in some cultures you really can't. Not so much Western Europe, but it's still harder there. So, I do still prefer the United States for that, but I still see that it has other things that I don't like so much. But that's true of everything. There's things about myself I don't like, so.
Should people consider living and traveling to places?
Yes, I would. I think everyone should live somewhere else where they're not native, because if nothing else, it makes them more compassionate. When you get to go live in another culture, you realize that your cultural norms that you were raised with, that weren't even spoken, that you weren't even aware of, you start seeing them and see that there's other choices. And so if, like when I was growing up, I really wanted to be a good girl and I really wanted to make everybody happy, but I also had very strong convictions of what I should do and not do. And so by living in other countries, it made me realize, oh, there is no absolute rights and wrongs. And so even though I wanted to be good, I often would do things that weren't the norm. And so I really think that that's a great experience. You get to be free to choose the parts of your culture that you want and to let go of the parts that are hurting you.
Has living in other countries made you a better person?
Yes, a much better person. Because I also realize I'm not always right. And as you know, I'm pretty self-righteous. I think I'm right most of the time. So by being in other cultures, it's like, oh yeah, there's a totally different way to do things. And also, if you really care about people in other cultures, then you don't want to go to war with that country. So I think it really does help too in human relations.